Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Studio Series 111. This is Bumblebee Movie Concept Art Sunstreaker. So in this video, we're going to have a quick look at him in both his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to do some comparisons with him and his original Generation 1 self. We can also look at some other toys from the same toy line, some toys from different toy lines, and of course just see how he looks and fares up against all of them. So as I start to pop all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, and also to thank In Demand Toys, which is where I purchased this from, and as you can see they got him to me quickly and safely. So yeah, this guy seems to have taken quite a long time to come out in the UK. No idea why, but again, I think that's something that we always well, somebody around the world always has different problems with their distribution, but this is quite late for the UK. But this figure, let me get to it in a second, is sensational. It really is very, very clever. Before we do though, let's have a look at the packaging, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that I can't believe we're on number 111 already. So this is concept art, or a concept, I suppose, image of what he would have looked like if he'd have made the final cut and actually got into that Bumblebee movie, which I'm sure he would have looked stunning. And again, it's a brilliant, I suppose, amalgamation between live action and G1, which is why I love the robots and the bots from the Bumblebee movie, to be honest. You've probably already noticed that I've uploaded the transformation process video, so hopefully that's helped you out. And also, hopefully you've already seen the video on how to correct yours if it had the misassembly, which mine did. As I say, I think it's very common. I think most people don't even realize that there is. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen the how to fix video, just check for gaps there. If you've got gaps there which look like they shouldn't be, that's because the hinges are wrong, but you can see that in the video that I've uploaded. Right, I'm going to quickly move the box out of the way just so we can focus on the actual figure. I'm going to keep this here just for a couple of seconds. However, I do still have that same, I suppose, opinion on them all. I'd much rather get either a little bit cheaper or something else, or a huge scene that we could build up using buying multiple figures rather than that. As I said though, the figure itself is stunning. I've got to be super honest. You can tell that there's a slight difference in the paint on the windscreen and the rest of the figure, so it's not too noticeable. It's nowhere near as bad as what Earthrise Sunstreaker was, to be honest. I love these wheels. Hopefully you can sort of make out that they're actually a translucent blue color. The windscreen again is like a translucent blue, but these are a little bit darker, and it just looks really, really good. It's like nothing I've ever seen before, because of course it is based on a Cybertronian vehicle. However, I do have to again add that there's, like, I don't know, a driver's seat for a small person. And again, how would they know or need pilots or drivers or whatever it is on Cybertron? The wheels, they don't move super freely. I mean, they do go around, but they're not, you know, they don't go anywhere near as easily as what, you know, the other Bumblebee, I suppose, alternate vehicles do. This is of course the Bumblebee actual from that movie as well, Cybertronian design, which again looks great. I think we need more of these, even if they're concept art, because they're just good to see. They're fun toys, and I think they really spike the imagination of kids, and myself included. Right, the instructions we'll look at in a second. I want to very quickly show you the accessories. Now they come individually, or they come, as you can see, as I've done, you can attach them to each other, and this can be used for both modes, to be honest. In the alternate mode, I think it does look good. I think there's just too much of a gap there, but with these on, looks really, really good. And you can probably tell underneath that everything's tucked away quite neatly as well. So very quickly, there is again Bumblebee from the same movie, and again this is where you sort of get the true homage from the Generation 1 version. I suppose these are maybe trying to mimic this, I'm not too sure, and maybe, yeah, the windscreen as well. Let's be honest, it's a very good, I suppose, homage to this particular figure. With regards to other figures, the size, there's a Generation 1 Prime, here's a deluxe Jurassic Park Jeep. So yeah, it's just a little bit bigger than that, but that Jeep is quite small. This is a much bigger deluxe figure, so it's not as big as that, but I think that's probably pretty much about it for the alternate mode. I suppose industry standard, everybody wants to see how big it is compared to the Earthrise Prime, but there we go. And funnily enough, just because it's there, we can have a look at Hot Wheels Bumblebee. But that's it for this particular mode. We're going to come right back. He's going to be in his robot mode, which is the way that I'm going to be displaying him, and do a load more comparisons as well. So yeah, back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and this is, as I said, why I think he's stunning now. There's a couple of articulation problems, but I think overall as a figure, he just looks great. So once again, I'm just going to bring the backdrop in. I think this is known as Cybertron's Fallen, and again, he will fit in there, and it doesn't look too bad, but I don't see anybody who's going to be using these. I think I've only had a couple of people ever put in the comments that they do use them, but there you go. It's a nice, I suppose, little touch, but I suppose again more for people who are just looking to buy maybe their favorite figure. Right, so this is why I think the guy's amazing. Just the details on it, again, the head sculpt is a brilliant homage back to G1, but not only that, if you can hopefully see the detail on it, there's loads of sort of like metallic workings, the nice blue eyes inside it. I'll see if I can zoom in for you without it losing focus. Look at the detail there on that face. It's crazy detailed, and I'm again really impressed with how they have managed to get that with all the different lines, with not it just ending up, I suppose, like a big blurred up mess. Lovely Autobot logo there as well. There's the translucent blue on the front. They've cleverly sort of tucked away the wheels into there and into the shoulders. We'll get to the shoulders in a minute, because that is the true only really negative thing from my point of view with this particular figure. This is actually gunmetal grey, but when you catch it in the light right, it reflects really well, giving it a nice, again, different look to it. When you spin it round to the back, he unfortunately does have hollow forearms. It would have been nice to see maybe if this could have tucked and folded into there, but I say this with every figure, depending on which company. In fact, every company that's made, I always say if you can't see it from the back, then it doesn't really bother me. Some people will argue with me, of course, but then that's also why there's upgrade or gap filler kits made by other companies who agree with them particular people. But for me, if I can't see it from the back, it just doesn't bother me whatsoever. Now, the beauty again of the weapons, let me just show you very quickly how you can attach them at the back, and I've read this on TF Wiki, but I have to say I don't think I really agree with it. They're saying that it sort of matches that coming above his head. Maybe not, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but I see what I mean about the comparison, or the, I suppose, similarities between the G1 head and this. Very similar, and I suppose that's what they're trying to say about this particular accessory on the back. It's not the same, but I suppose again it's a good idea. It's a good idea, but for me, I won't ever be putting them there. I'll be taking them off and then using them. I don't know, actually, because the choice is brilliant. You can have them together as one, and because of course they are not individual, they are standard 5mm ports, you can put one in each hand, which is what I'm going to do for you guys right now. Which again is great. And as I say, apart from what I'm about to show you in a minute, this guy is super posable. It's just the shoulders that let him down. But again, I'm not the greatest at posing figures. It's perhaps something that I should have a little go at practicing at, but I'm sure you look great. Look, that looks great. It really does. Let's have a look at the articulation then, so you can see exactly what I mean. So the head will rotate all the way around, no issues whatsoever. It can look up and down, and you can also give it an additional bit of movement here. This is the transformation joint, but you can just lift it up ever so slightly to have him looking up a little bit more if you wanted to. It just clicks down there. I'm going to get to the shoulders. I'm going to go to them last, to be honest. So there's a swivel at the bicep, there's a flexion at the bicep, there's no wrist movement unfortunately, but again, remember, this is deluxe, not Voyager class. Same on the other side. There's a full waist rotation, doesn't get in the way at all. The hips will allow you to spin on that hinge or joint there all the way around, well, 90 degrees that way, 90 degrees that way, so a full 180 degrees. There's a knee bend which kicks all the way back. The boot is great. It's pretty much the same as, oh no, it's not this particular Bumblebee, the other Bumblebee, as the, which one is it, the Cybertronian mode Bumblebee. It's got like all the spikes at the bottom there, which you can see. I do like that. That's very clever as well, and you can pivot it, you can move it in any particular way you want to. Also, you can see the detail there on the inner parts of the legs. That looks brilliant. And yeah, I suppose it's all really good, apart from there. In fact, I've got to do the splits quickly. Splits that way and splits out to the side. Teeny tiny bit of hindrance, but again, fully posable. It's just this, and it is a little bit frustrating that you can't get anywhere near the T. You can sort of move this out of the way and get a little bit higher, but then it looks like he's playing a game of sort of hide and seek, because it does and will cover most of his face. So that is a bit of a negative, but again, it's not, I think, you know, look, you can still lift your arm up there, you can bring it that high, to, I suppose, pose and shoot with a gun. That's not too bad, is it? I'm not too sure. You guys let me know in the comments. I know obviously it's not great, but again, for people who do, you know, figure shots, action shots, etc., that's not too bad. Surely that can't be that bad. It's just restricted, and I'm just being dead honest. It is restricted. I'm going to pop this back in there though. I'm now going to start to bring in, let's start off with figures from the same toy lines. So what I like about these is they're detailed enough. Let's put that there as it should be. And they're not insanely difficult to transform, which is always a good thing. So you can see there we've got some good deluxe figures there. Funnily enough, let's bring in Brawn. This guy's brilliant. I'm going to be doing a separate video actually, whoops, on why I'm keeping mainly these, just because I did my movie figures. These are the only ones that I tend to really keep now, and that's just because I think that they've just got too much of a brilliant G1 homage. It's great. Right, there is your Prime, which again, funnily enough, he's of course the only one who hasn't got a Cybertronian mode. He's got the Earth mode on it, whereas the rest of them have the Cybertronian one. He's probably not even going to fit on screen, but of course, if you remember, this was the first concept art figure released from the Bumblebee movie, so I imagine we're going to get loads and loads more. In fact, I would imagine we'll get a red version with a different head of him. What I do like about this particular toy line is they are good value. This is a Voyager class. Okay, it's got a simple transformation, but look at the size of that. It's great. And of course, that's a leader class because it's got 3 modes. But let's bring in some other figures. So other toy lines very quickly. Generation 1, War for Cybertron, Studio Series 86. So we've got a complete mixture there. Again, giving you an idea, I can bring this down now because I don't think I've got any other figures apart from this one that's anywhere near as big as the others. Right, couple more though, because again, I know people collect different toy lines, different figures, and again, want to get a good idea of the size of this. So, Bumblebee's took a nosedive. There are 2 core class, so these are all official figures, official Hasbro Takara ones. Let's bring in a couple of non-official ones. So that is your New Age. This is actually official, but it's very, very different. That's the Hot Wheels one, which of course is a collaboration. That's a Doctor Wu. I've got an Iron Factory here as well. So yeah, much bigger than, as you'd expect, than the Legends scale third-party figures. But that really is all I've got to say about him. I'm very impressed with him. He was definitely worth the wait. Just a shame about the shoulders, but for me, that's nothing too detrimental at all. Most of you probably will have this, but please let me know in the comments as I say what you do think about it, and also let me know if the video on correcting the hinges in the legs helped you out as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.